Yeah, after that first Grace game we saw earlier today, all of a sudden a lot of these teams have been like banning it or now picking it, even without having that Black Feather to pair with it. This makes me feel like Mousesports is going to be looking for an Idris, because you want someone that has that hard dive to be able to pair with the Grace so that you have that synergy. And Idris is the one that was, notoriously well paired with a Grace going back to a previous split, but it'll be interesting to see if that's where they decide to go, because it's kind of showing their hand a little bit early, because when that Grace comes through first pick, you know that they want Black Feather, Idris, or something along those lines. So now SK can prepare the rest of their draft around it, but it is going to be the Rhyme picked up here for Mousesports anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I like to see as I said, I really like that Rhyme pick because it works well against Cruel. It's another skill matchup, this time a little bit in favor of Cruel in the dueling part, but in favor of Rhyme in the last hitting department. So Mousesports and Amdadoom can definitely make plays happen from it. And as we said, Amdadoom been performing really well on it. The Vox ban is a little bit surprising. Perhaps they were worried about the Vox being combined with the Grace and allowing Mousesports to play really aggressive.
Absolutely, Lyra going to be locked in here for SK Gaming. That's going to be an excellent gap close for the Cruel on their side, but also a huge amount of sustain coming into these fights. And I'll see where SK are going to go when it comes down to the laner. Kestrel taken off as well as Vox, but things like the Baron are available. It's not something that we know Kvolafar specifically for as a comfort pick, but he's a very accomplished laner.
Yeah, very accomplished, very comfortable laner, can pick up pretty much anything. I think they would love to have a Kestrel right now if they hadn't banned it away at the first rotation, but it's the options for where they can go with this are pretty wide.
Yeah, I mean, what I would really like to see here would be a CP Sky lane. Something very untraditional, but it works really good against Rhyme, against Grace, and does well with Cruel. But instead, the CP Idris serves a similar purpose. You have your long range, you'll try to kite away the Rhyme, and you combine very well with Cruel because Cruel can protect you.
And it takes the pick away from Mousesports, who, again, I'm very confident they wanted this Idris pick to pair with the Grace. They saw the opportunity to grab the Rhyme, and they felt like they had to take it, even though because SK has played this Captain Krull. I think that was the only reason why Mousesports felt they had to take the Rhyme, just to make sure that they didn't go for that. And it's going to be a Catherine, so looking like most likely the carry Grace, which is something that Kvolafar tried to run numerous times in the past. Something I'm not a fan of at all. Very vocal against this one.
It has had decent amount of success, though, in the grand scheme of how many times it's been picked. It's actually won fairly well.
I mean, it can close the gap really easily onto Idris, especially past level 8. Once you overdrive your A ability, if you have a crit build, if you have a Tenshabo build, you can do a lot of burst. So I'm trying to play devil's advocate for this pick right now. So they can perhaps make it work, especially with the Catherine being able to scale, but going into a Cruel, that's going to be tough.
This is going to be a weird composition coming through. With Rhyme as your only major DPS source, he's not the most consistent DPS you could have on your team. I'm curious, how do you feel these early games are going to be playing out? Who are the ones that have to be proactive here?
Well, the side of Mousesports has to be proactive, because they're at risk of having this kind of snowball on them incredibly hard and falling behind and never really getting that tankiness that this team, I mean, all three of them are extremely durable, extremely tanky.
All right, we'll see how these battles are going to go, these skirmishes in this fight. It's time to get into Game 2 of our finals. Hashtag Vainglory8 on Twitter. Let us know who you're supporting. But once again, I'm going to pass it back over to Medic and Ex-Scoundrel and getting to game number 2.
Thank you very much, Munch. We are into Game 2 of the finals here in EU, and SK are fighting for their lives, fighting for that undefeated streak that they want to keep alive. And Ex-Scoundrel, this is Grace with weapon power. How do you see this playing out across the course of this game?
We've seen a little bit of weapon power Grace here and there. It's very much a shock. I always like to call it a shock and awe type of hero. You jump in with Benediction, you have Tension Bow, you hit really hard initially, and then you just look to try and land fairly impactful heroic perk hits. But otherwise, it's very much a burst-orientated style of play, which maybe works with Amdadoom. You rush in and you're going to have War Treads here and thereabouts. Justman's going to go in.
There he is, looking to put some pressure on, but Hegman, Tyrus, and Kvolafar will be safe from it for the time being.
I think it's going to be like a War Treads, sort of prioritization coming out from this type of game, and then you just rush them in, you look for maybe a Holy Nova, then you set up for I'm the Doom. I'm the Doom, if he lands any kind of route, it's going to facilitate Leon on this Weapon Power Grace, who is going to hit pretty hard when you get that Tension Bow up online and you get that Sorrow Blade up online too. I've seen numerous builds with Weapon Power Grace. One of my favorites is that Tension Bow double Tyrant's Monocle that I think is starting to make its way back into the meta now the Tension Bow buffs came through.
I have to see how effective it is as we get into the later portions of this game. I'm the Doom once again has his rhyme. Irakizo warned us off giving him that rhyme earlier on in the day, so we'll have to see if SK are able to deal with that as well, because it's a three-man gang squad in the lane at the moment, as Just Man forced back by the Bright Bulwark, and that is a strength, of course, of Lyra. One of the reasons we see her so commonly banned is both her sustain and her ability to disrupt enemy engagers.
Yeah, and Kavalafar's going for a CP Idris too, which we know it scales up well. I would really love to see a Dragon's Eye coming out from Kavalafar. I think it's very easy to stack. And the Doom also against a Cruel matchup, which isn't the best for the Rhyme, really. Obviously, you can kind of attempt to outplay a Rhyme, but in general, people like to often pick Cruel into Rhyme because the weakness stacks A, limit his damage output, and B, obviously limit his ability to generate fortified health, because his fortified health is generated on the damage that he deals. So it's all in all a good pick into Rhyme in general, and you'll have to hopefully see Tyrus take advantage of that, because he has got specific strengths against Rhyme, which I think could be exploited.
SK will have superb knowledge of how to exploit those strengths, but Kavalifar is a little bit overextended here. Looking to get knocked up by the Holy Nova, the burst coming out from Mouse, and this will be the first blood for them as they catch Kavalifar out in the lane.
That's the combo we were talking about. The rush into the root, into the Holy Nova, then you have those big hitting hits from the Benediction and all the heroic perk from Leon, as well as obviously Rhyme doing the damage that he does. That's the combination that you want to see. And there isn't a huge amount apart from a Bright Bulwark to stop that from happening in fights. As soon as Kavalifar gets his ultimate, he will have a get out of jail free card for those kind of engages, and that might be what Kavalifar needs to survive here. As Leon, he's farming up. He's actually ahead in CS over Kavalifar somehow. I'm not quite sure how that happened, but it's still looking to go towards what is actually not going to be a Tension Bow. He's actually picked up a heavy steel, so maybe go towards a Sorrow Blade first.
And just going for that pure weapon power rather than going for the actual extra burst. There's a stun once again onto Kavalifar, looking for the Holy Nova knockup, but can't quite connect with it. The Imperial Sigil from Hegman will get that Idris out to safety, but still a gold lead for Mouse here early on, about 900 to 1,000 gold. There's a trade as I'm the Doom and Tyrus meet up against each other. Just Man running in, looking for the stun. The root comes out, and that will be a knockup on towards Tyrus, trying to get to the Imperial Sigil, but it's just a bit too far away, and Mouse get their second kill of the game.
SK feel a bit discordant right now. Mouse are very coordinated, they collapse as a unit, they combo their skills together so nicely. It just feels like decision making on SK's side of things feels a little crumpled, not quite what we're used to from the points leader in the European scene. Now obviously losing to Mouse here, it won't mean a huge amount for SK. Obviously they'd like to win the week to guarantee themselves the most point and give them the best cushion going into next few weeks to secure their place at Worlds. But regardless, it's great signs for Mouse as a unit. If they can get these advantages and beat SK in a series convincingly, this is looking like maybe the team coming into the next few seasons of the VG8 that could really dominate the European scene, Medic.
Yeah, you have to remember they're 1-0 up already. Leon has joined the team now, looking for that extra bit of star power that perhaps they needed to really buff themselves up as a team, and it's about development for Mouse at the moment. If they can show that they can challenge big boys after such a, or I say big boys, a big team in the form of SK after such a short period of preparation, imagine how much more they can do next week or the week after, whether they can be the new SKs of Europe, the new #1 speed that everyone actually has to try and contend with.
Also going to start to shove this lane in now. Constantly looking to pressure, constantly looking to combo. There's the Valkyrie.
On towards Hegman, the Bright Bulwark comes down as well, and actually Tyrus is in the midst of this fray. I'm the Doom though there with the kill, looking for Kavalifar. Next up, Leon was the one to secure that for Mousesports. The stun on towards Hegman will force them away. And Kavalifar, even with the Dragon's Eye completed, really isn't able to do that much against this Mousesports lineup. They're looking for the turret as well, down to half. Might even get this. The Winter Spire doing a lot of work. A stun onto Kavalifar once again. He has to try and jump away because the Holy Nova was coming. And he does manage to escape before that knockup connects.
Interesting thing about Dragon's Eye, you actually need to get just one stack to be able to open up your heroic perk and start to use your ranged basic attack. So you just need to land a chakram or get a basic attack down, and then you actually start to get those ranged basic attacks opened up for you. So that's a really interesting thing. Obviously, Kvalifar will be able to pick up a crystal bit and alleviate that and have it on online at all times. But on just the Dragon's Eye, you need a single stack, and then you open up your heroic perk. However, SK are definitely under the thumb again because the first turret was prioritized there. They forced SK into an awkward rotation around the jungle, and then, like we saw, Mouse secured their first turret with a lot of damage coming out from Grace and a lot of damage coming out from Anna Doom right now with that Shatterglass. And they are starting to accelerate this. They can, again, look for heavy engages with this team, a little bit similar to we saw last game, Medic. Always looking to engage, always looking for a fight.
Looking for that Crystal Sentry, the stun lands with the from Hell's Heart. The engage coming in from the rest of Mouse, though the stun on towards Tyrus. He has to use the Fountain to get out of that fight. And now SK on the back foot slightly, a 3,000 gold lead for Mouse, but I'm the Doom is pretty low on energy here. Does need to be a bit cautious as to how they take this next fight. I'm the Doom is actually going to go all the way back to base to regen up that energy and make sure that he is not lacking when this next fight erupts.
Leon's pushing the lane up here. Tyrus is desperate to force a fight, even though they are behind, trying to take advantage of the mid-game spike that Cruel has. No Fountain means that you can actually look for these executions. Oh my goodness, the damage from Leon onto Cruel right there. Unbelievable output. But Kvalifar is able to return with his own heavy-hitting basic attacks that scale up nicely with that Dragon's Eye.
Leon now has a Poison Shiv as well to try and reduce that healing coming out from the Lyra. So the more that he can get those connections there, the better it is for him, his team, and for Mouse in general. The gold miner from I'm the Doom will be secured in just a second. The engage from Just Man up towards the top side to try and force Kvalifar and Hegman to continue this fight. They know they're getting the objective. They know they're getting the gold lead, assuming they can secure this gold miner, which they do. I'm the Doom meets onto Tyrus as well, and the rest of Mouse are on their way. Leon jumps in, looking for that Holy Nova knockup. Quite connect as Tyrus now chucks out the From Hell's Heart, but does just about manage to get it onto I'm the Doom. Here comes the big fight as SK looks for the engage. Good blast tremor, but I'm the Doom still alive. The Valkyrie comes out as well, and Leon jumps straight onto that backline. Kvalifar running for his life. The Imperial Sigil just about keeps him alive. A great stun on towards Hegman, and the Root coming in as well. I'm the Doom chasing in with the Arcane Passage. Manages to take a 1-for-1 trade, and that will be the Crystal Sentry falling as well. Kvalifar dodging off to the side, but here comes the merciless pursuit from Just Man. He is not giving up this chase at all. Leon looking for the Retribution shock. Cannot quite connect, but that shield from Just Man actually doing a lot of work. Mouse eventually able to get the delayed 3 kills. No ace for them, but a strong gold lead.
Yes. More than a strong gold lead, this is again another dominant looking game from Mouse. They've got SK's number in every way, shape or form. A really nicely timed silence from Just Man to begin that fight. Tyrus couldn't find the smite execute because it just was silenced and he got blown up. I'm the Doom with the defensive Valkyrie wasn't even needed because I think Leon's burst damage was almost more than necessary to finish the job. And then again, that rolling aggressive machine that we've seen from Mousesports continues as they push into the SK side of the jungle. Heavy engage coming out from the Benediction on Leon, and obviously you can see Null Wave going on Just Man means they really want to just focus in on winning these fights, shutting out Hegman as well.
Stun the Root, so much damage onto Tyrus. He's forced out already. Crystal Sentry has respawned and will join this fight, but I'm the Doom will be happy just to take that one straight away. Pretty sure this is the elimination kill. Actually, no, one more left. Only 10 minutes in. They've already really shut down any hope that SK have of controlling that jungle. And with that turret falling, the Winter Spire's going in. There's the engage on towards the backline. The Holy Nova looking for the knockup from Leon, but the dodges from Tyrus and SK are pretty darn strong. Here comes the Valkyrie as well. They've managed to get the first kill. Just Man and I'm the Doom try to do what they can, but Tyrus chasing in. That's 2 kills for SK as they hold on to hope in this game.
Overextension you feel from Mousesports, but still in a commanding position. One more Crystal Sentry life to deal with. Tyra's, only on a breaking point right now. He's a whole item behind I'm the Doom, who has actually already finished his journey boots. Already gone for tier 3 mobility, knowing that he needs that to catch up to Kvalifar. Leon's working towards a breaking point, which would be a pretty massive item spike for him. But SK are not resting on their laurels. They're trying to utilize this and go for the gold miner, but they're not taking it quick enough, and Mouse are here to respond.
You still have the Spectral Smite, but SK just give it up. Give up the Ghost on that chase. Let's have a quick look across the rest of the items here. Scoundrel, you've got Shatterglass Eve finished on towards I'm the Doom alongside those Journey Boots. You've got 3 weapon power items already on Leon. He's looking mighty, mighty strong. On the other side of the house here, fold, Cavalifar has the Alternating Current and the Dragon's Eye, but so far behind in terms of pure gold that he's not even towards that 3rd item yet. Tyrus with a Breaking Point and an Aegis, and Hegman sitting on the Crucible and the Fountain, but not really in a strong position to fight up against Mousesports yet.
Absolutely not. I think Cavalifar, the out for SK now is Cavalifar getting to late game. I think Broken Myth likely going to be an item of choice for him next. And then maybe Eve of Harvest. So looking for a 4-item build of Dragon's Eye, Alternating Current, Eve of Harvest. I think that's a pretty solid item build. It's almost like a direct replacement for the old Seeking Interest build. It gives you stacking and you work off the Pierce, and it works in a very similar fashion. Your basic attacks actually hit really hard on this specific build. So we'll have to see how that works out for him. To get there first though, so he's still a whole 1.5 tier items, or 1.5 tier 3 items away from that. Just accelerating his build, getting gold as he can. He's pretty close to finishing his next one. Probably needs about 1,000 gold in the bank, and then we'll see how SK do in these teamfight situations.
And Mouse playing around the gold miner for the time being. You still have, of course, that chunk onto the turret in the lane. Can try and force that if they wish. I'd like to see them being a little bit more proactive with this lead, because the further you get into the game, the less the gold lead means. The closer you get to completed builds on either side. They need to clear out that scout trap on the gold mine, then try and go for it themselves. I'm not even sure they know the scout trap's there. They're just going to start up this gold mine, and SK will have knowledge of this. It's going down incredibly quickly. Of course, 2 I'm the Doom and Leon, and here comes Hegman from the side. The Valkyrie not quite going to connect off towards the side, hasn't actually been used there with the Blast Tremor instead. Cavalifar jumped on Hegman, Arcane Passages into the midst of the team. Tyrus gets off towards the other side with the From Hell's Heart trying to get onto Leon, but there comes the Valkyrie down straight onto the face of Cavalifar, and eventually he will fall. It's going to be an ace, you have to feel. Here, SK managed to get 1 in response, but Mouse get the ace, will take the Crystal Sentry, and you have to expect we'll take the gold mine off the back of this as well.
Really, really nice. A Valkyrie from I'm the Doom, because Cavalifar was starting to output some serious damage in that fight as he stacked up on the Dragon's Eye. But Doom follows up on Leon, gets the Valkyrie, and obviously then stuns up Cavalifar. My dog is going crazy. I hope you can't hear that in the background. Sorry, that's why I was getting distracted. My dog is going a little bit mental.
But that's okay. That's okay. Good fight there.
Double
of course,
kill.
for Mousesports. They are now 7,000 gold ahead. You've got an Echo finished on towards Just Man with the Null Wave Gauntlet, just trying to shut down any possibility that SK fight back. And Cavalifar has finished the Broken Myth, so he is sitting on those 3 completed items. It's very much up to him to try and carry these team fights for SK, but it looks like Mouse might be on the brink of upsetting the champions. The Mortal Wounds on towards Hegman as he dodges around. Leon with the knockup onto Tyrus, the engage onto Cavalifar in that backline. The Fountain used. Leon there. Mouse fighting for their lives, trying to take this win off SK, trying to take that champion's belt off SK. The kill will go down. I'm the Doom secures 1, and now it's Tyrus and Hegman trying to fight off against 3 members of Mouse, but already Hegman's dead. It's a double for I'm the Doom, and you just can't give this man rhyme, because he will roll all over your team. The chase down onto Tyrus. He'll get stun locked. He'll get taken down. It's an ace for Mouse, and they can look to start closing out this game.
Unbelievable performance. Doom, like you said, on this rhyme is just a monster. He's got Atlas Pauldrons to shut down the Cruel because Just Man has gone so aggressive in his build. Cavalifar played that fight, I think, really well. His ultimate choice location, he dodged 2 silences coming out from Just Man. He was in a position to kite backwards, but they managed to collapse on him. And like you said, the priority on mobility from I'm the Doom means that he was able to catch up and deal some significant damage. Heavy burst damage coming out from Mouse as well. And once Cavalifar dies in these fights, it's pretty much game over for SK. You haven't got Tyrus spiking enough at this point. He's literally just sitting on a breaking point, an Aegis, and some defense. Not enough to carry a game with, and he just isn't able to capitalize off his mid game. And you can see here, once Cavalifar dies, SK should go down.
Gage goes in once again, the Null Wave on towards Cavalifar, trying to lock him out, but a good from Hell's Heart will keep him alive for the time being. Shimmer strikes down, the attack slow from the Atlas. I'm the Doom just continuing to chase down. Cavalifar's like, please let me kite, but he just can't do enough. A good knock up there at the end, as well as Tyrus is being rooted to the spot. Leon with the chase down, it's a double for him. Looking for a little bit more as Hegman runs down towards the bottom side, but this might even just be the game for Mouse. Just Man is going to chase off his fellow roamer, but Mouse are looking for the turrets. They're looking for the Vayne. They are looking for the win, and they're looking for the 2-0 over SK.
I think they will be hard pressed. I mean, look, they could win it. They're going to split their focus, actually, on my word. They might actually be just going straight up for the win here while distracting Lyra.
Well, that will be the 2 turrets falling at basically exactly the same time. It's now up to Tyrus and Cavalifar to try and stop this, but Weapon Power Grace might just be a little bit too strong. The Winter Spire is coming in. Leon looking for the crystal, and that will be the win, and that will be the week for Mousesports 2-0 up over SK.
Wow, what an ending. And that is something that I've always praised on a team with Leon. He knows exactly his limits when it comes to ending the game. Mousesports, they didn't even make that look close. They swept SK to the side. You cannot give Iron the Doom rhyme. Forget CP Kestrel. This guy is now a rhyme god. Well, congratulations, Mousesports. That subbing of Leon and Tricky moving out and Leon getting onto a team, well, he certainly found a team that he can win with. Mousesports are our week's winners.
That they are. Great performance by them, and Weapon Power Grace with another victory here in European Vainglory. We're going to hand it over